な転生。
You know I go hard, clunging the division, I'm the dark star, gorilla in the streets, I lead the marks, clapping cheeks, leaving them all scarred, moving through the shadows, I'm the king, no one can stop me, I do my own thing, I'm a beast in the game, I'm a phenomenon, making my presence known like a megaton bomb, I step into the battlefield, ready for the fight, never backing down, always staying in the sight. Always unmatched, I dominate the zone. No one can touch me when I'm on my throne.
YouTube, what's good? What's good? What's good? It's your boy Kong. So here we are. Get asked the question probably every single day, and I love it. But the fact is that I'm usually live streaming, so it may miss some information or stuff might get misconstrued. So we're making this video here so you guys know, hey, what do I do now? Division is a large, grindy ass game. We all know this. So the whole point of this video here is to basically give you a step-by-step guide, or at least reference as into what to do to make the best of your experience while you are grinding your character, whether you're preparing for PvE or PvP or trying to do certain missions or game types, whatever the case may be. So you'll be able to do those things. So I'm gonna try to go over as much as I can. I may miss some things. If I do, make sure you guys hit it in the comment. At the same time too, guys, if you definitely enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and hell, throw a comment in the end. Let me know how I did. So first things first, right? Level 30, cool. You either played from the very beginning all the way to 30, then you get over to New York, right? So now you're over in New York, you're knocking out the level 31 to 40 missions. Cool, you beat Keener, yay. You now got your watch. Now that question comes into play. What do I do now? The map looks crazy. You're like, what is going on? How do I make builds? How do I get damage? How do I do whatever I need to do? So first things first, a couple of things you're going to have to keep in the back of your mind. There are blueprints in the game that you're going to need to acquire. If you did the boost, which meant you started at 31 going to 40, you're going to be missing a lot of blueprints. If you went through the game from level 1 to 30, you're going to have some blueprints, but not a whole lot. How you can tell what blueprints you have already, you can go over here to the crafting table, either the one outside or inside, and you can see there's a total of 494 blueprints. How are you going to get those blueprints? I'm going to tell you. So one of the ways to get the blueprints on the map in the open world, you're going to see these different activities. You've got control points, you've got public executions, you've got all kinds of different things there. But control points are going to be the way that you're going to want to get those blueprints. You need to make sure that they're at least at level 3, if not level 4. Right? Those are the ways to do it. Now, this guide is a guide from Kong. You may have a favorite control point out there that you truly enjoy, and you're like, yes, I want to keep doing this one over and over and over, right? However, what I'm going to tell you is this: if you're going to be farming control points, go to Sleeping Giant. If you look on the map, left side, just below the attic safe house. Sleeping Giant, from my experience, is one of the fastest ones that you can easily knock out, even being solo, and you can knock this one out. You go to Sleeping Giant, farm it at level 3, boom. When it's done, you're going to reset your world, go to global settings, boom, reset control points, When you reset it, when you're standing here at this cleared landmark or control point, excuse me, it's going to respawn you right back here at the attic. What do? You run out the street, you come right down the street, and you're right back here at your control point. So you can literally throw on the music, throw on the tunes, and then go get busy, and you can just sit there and farm this until you don't care to do it anymore. That's one of the ways you can get your blueprints. There's also the Descent game mode. So the Descent game mode is maybe something you can kind of do a little bit differently. You're able to farm blueprints and things like that as well in there. But obviously there's a lot more going on there, so on and so forth. And maybe that's not your play style to do Descent. But control points, level 3 or higher, that's how you get blueprints. Now, before you even do that, you're like, well, Kong, I don't even have a build. How do I go about doing that? Right? Perfect. So, a few different ways. If you look at the map, if you put out there for the targeted loot, depending on what platform you're on, you can see at the very bottom of the screen, you'll be able to see what button you need to press to activate for targeted loot. You can look and see what different activities or areas contain whatever type of targeted loot. This is one way that you can farm. So if you're over here knocking out Sleeping Giant, you know that you are going to be getting shotguns in this area, right? However, you're like, I'm not looking for a shotgun. I need gear pieces. I need stuff for a build. So what I suggest you doing is you're going to go right over here to where countdown is at. You can access this from 2 different ways. Well, there's a few different ways, but this is the 2 ways I'm going to show you. Here, and then you can also select your targeted loot. So when you bring up the menu from the bottom, you can literally look to see what pieces of gear are available here for you to farm, which is everything in the game for the most part, except for any type of raid exclusive items or incursion exclusive. So you can select what you're looking for, whether it be a gear or a brand set or a specific item, or if you're looking for like just nothing but chest pieces, backpacks, so on and so forth. You select it here and then you go into the mode. When you go into the mode, so you open up the countdown menu, you can do the countdown menu from right there by pressing the button. You want to select challenging, especially in the very beginning. Do not select heroic. You will get beat up. And the group that's probably there while they're trying to knock out heroic, they might kick you. It sounds horrible, but that's the way of the game. Select challenging. Go down and start matchmaking. You're then going to get queued saying, hey, we found you a group. You're going to press the correct button. It's going to throw you into the group. When it does that, you want to go right into your social and see, am I the leader of that group? If you are the leader of that group, stay right there in your social. When you see it fill up with all 8 and everyone is green, you're going to go ahead and start the countdown. If you're not the leader, don't worry about it. Just sit here and chill. Once it fills up, boom, you go in there. You'll knock out the countdown. 15 minutes is all it takes to do a countdown run. You're going to get a whole bunch of gear. And also make sure that your backpack is as clear as possible. So for me right now, I wouldn't go in a countdown like this. I would clear my backpack. I have 133 in my backpack. I would want to clear it as much as I possibly can. Right? So now you have the ability to go out there and farm for those builds that you're looking for. You saw some builds out there. You're something you want to try. Boom, you can go in there, farm for the pieces you're looking for, throw your build together. Now you can go and do whatever other activity you want. Right? As you're doing those farming, something's going to be happening. You are going to be getting watch levels, right? In the beginning, you're going to be getting, you put 1 watch level into weapon damage up here, right when you first got your watch. Now, in order to max out the watch, you need to get it to 999. Basically, 1,000 on the watch level, that maxes out your watch. It's 200 in each box. My advice, when you're leveling up the watch, each box, just start out with 1. So if you start on weapon damage up in the top left, put 50 points into there before moving on to another one. Don't put 10 here, 12 here, none of that. Just finish off a box, boom, be done with that. Get all the weapon damage you need. Next, after that, you can go for your crit chance. Then you can go for your crit damage. Then you can go your headshot damage. If you're on PC, I would say probably start out maybe with your headshot damage, because headshots are more relevant on PC. Console players, start out with your crit chance next, and then your crit damage, but get that weapon damage. When you're going over to the defensive side, armor. Armor. Start with your armor first. After the armor, you can then go down to your hazard protection, explosive resistance, and then of course the health. Health don't really matter too much in the game unless you're trying to make a build like I am right now, but that's besides the point. Under the handling, get that ammo capacity, right? After you get the ammo capacity, you might want to go to reload speed, because if I'm reloading faster than you, I'm going to get bullets back on target before you do. And then accuracy and stability, that's up to you, whichever one you want to do there. And then lastly over here, skill damage first. Then you could probably go skill haste, skill duration, then skill repair last. Unless you're focusing on trying to do some healing builds, so on and so forth. Now, after you've got 999 and all that, and you're like, well, I have a whole bunch of points left over, right? Obviously, this takes 800. The rest of your points are going to go in here to scavenging. In scavenging, this is where you're going to have all those other materials that you can then spec those points into and go from there. So, for instance, right now, where I have 4 points left over from today's adventures, I can take him, spec the points in there, and then boom, I would have those materials there versus having to run around the map and try to find it and farm for it. I can just use the points that are left over. So the higher your watch level, the more points you're going to end up having to use. In your watch level, there is no end cap to it. You can keep going as high as you possibly can. So that's where it comes in for the watch. Now, you're like, well, dang, Kong, I'm doing countdown. My watch isn't going up that high. How can I get my watch level up even higher? Well, let me tell you. Couple of different ways. Basically anything that you're doing out here in the open world, whether it be a mission, whether it be the public executions or any of these open world activities, is going to level up your watch. When you're over here and you're farming sleeping giant, it's going to be leveling up your watch. Any type of XP that you earn is leveling up your watch. If you're in the DZ, which you should not be in the DZ this soon, this early, it's going to be leveling up your watch, right? However, the devs have blessed us with something to help us get that XP up a lot faster and be able to enjoy some PvP content. So what I would say is this: get yourself a build out of Countdown. Cool, I've got myself a little build put together. It's not the greatest, but it doesn't matter. The next thing you can do is you go over here to Conflict. Conflict is the organized PvP of Division, on Division 2. In here, go in here and queue up for a match. You can queue solo, queue with your buddies if you guys are on, so on and so forth. Now here's the disclaimer: do not get upset if you lose. If you are losing and you're getting absolutely farmed, don't leave. Just stay. You are going to get a minimum of 567,000 XP just for completing a countdown, or a conflict run. By completing that run, that is enough, if not almost enough, to get you a level. So stay in there. Now, to top it off, if you get kills, open the boxes, the supply drops that are coming in there, you're killing off skills, you're doing stuff, you're actually, contributing to the team, you are now going to get even more XP. If you want to make the most out of the XP you get out of there, there's 3 different game types in there. If the squad that you are, or the 8 players that are there, and they select team elimination, that will get you the most points available. Right now, my highest is 4.6 million out of 1 run. And that's basically 10 minutes in a game mode. Getting 4.6 million in that range, somewhere around that range, in XP. That's enough for a lot of levels. A lot of levels. If it takes around 700k to level up, you can do the math and go from there. So, Countdown right now, currently in the state of the game, is the fastest way to level up that watch. It maybe PvP is not your thing, but I would still just do it, because you can also acquire gear from the boxes you get. You get one just for completing a match. You get another one if you win. And if you level up while you're in there, because Conflict has a leveling system from 1 to 100, every time you level up, you're also going to get another one. So you can get 3 caches out of there as well. Those caches are dropping challenging or higher type gear, as well as they also have the opportunity to drop you exotics. So those exotics you might be looking for or anything like that, it's a good chance that it could possibly drop in there as well. Now you've already got an idea of how I can go get gear, how I can farm for my watch, so on and so forth, right? It's going to take a little bit of time. It's not something you can do very fast. Depending on the amount of time that you put into the game, is going to pay off for you. When it comes to the builds, the gear that you're using and so on and so forth, you're going to notice at some point it's like it's not get as strong as I like it to be. Why is that? And what is this 25 you have on your weapon there? What is that? How do you get that extra 25% weapon damage? Now this is where countdown is going to be used for another purpose. In the game, there's something known as expertise, right? With expertise, this is you becoming proficient with every single gun, every single item, every single thing in the game. And you're like, wow, are you telling me I have to use everything in the game for X amount of time in order to level these things up as much as possible till they're proficient? Well, technically, yes. However, there is a way to do it even faster. So I want to level up my expertise. The fastest way for you to do it is going to be going to countdown. And let's say I want to do ongoing directive. So what I would do is I would go to ongoing directive on my map. I would go to countdown. Oh. I would select ongoing directive. Boom. Now I know it's going to drop me ongoing directive pieces inside there. So your goal when you go in, it dropped me a mask, put it on. It dropped me gloves, put it on. Then it dropped you a chest piece, put it on. It dropped you holster, put it on. The goal is to put on 6 pieces. You are going to probably do absolutely no damage. So you're going to probably want to stay in the middle of the group, if not the rear of the group. Definitely shoot your guns, right? But stay in the middle of the group. And then everything else you pick up, pick it up. That's why it comes in having that backpack that's fairly empty so you can pick up as much loot as possible. Now that you've come out of countdown, boom, right? You've got a whole bunch of gear that's on you. So I'm going to open up these caches here and just pretend I just did a countdown run. So you've got all this gear that's on you. You can look through it. Maybe there might be some pieces that you might want to actually keep, so on and so forth. If they are pieces you want to keep, then go ahead and mark those pieces as favorite. If not, come over here to the vendor, and then you can easily just mark every single thing in there for deletion. Weapons, all of that. If you don't see anything you want to keep, just mark it.
Thanks for the deal.
What you're gonna then do is you can go into your inventory and you're gonna bring up the tinkering menu. From the tinkering menu, go over to expertise. At the bottom, you're gonna see where it says donate all junk. Everything that you just marked as junk, you just hold the perspective button on your perspective platform, and now you've just donated all those things in there. Over on the left hand side, yours is going to probably say 1, and it's going to have X amount of number over X amount of number on the left hand side for the total amount of items that are expertise or proficient for you. You need to do that for all the gear there. So all the gear you pick up, you donate it in there, and boom, it's going to go from there. Now, maybe there's pieces that you don't want to, or let me put it this way. There's pieces that you haven't found that you'd like to proficient faster, so on and so forth. There is another way. So you can go into something, and let's say it's this 1886, like I wanted to do the 1886, right? What you do from there is you can donate the materials to the weapon. Unfortunately, because my watch is already maxed all the way out, or excuse me, not my watch, my expertise is already maxed. I have no way of kind of showing you that, but at the bottom you'll be able to see where it says donate the materials. You donate the materials to it. The materials you want to donate is going to be your printer filament. So you want to save up as much printer filament as possible. It takes 3,000 printer filament to max out any one either gun or gear or whatever the case is, whatever you're working on for the expertise table. So 3,000 printer filament will max out any of those. And then you can move on to the next one. Cool, I'm done with that one. So I would suggest using the printer filament method on weapons, on skills, things like that you're probably not going to be utilizing that much as well. By just going into countdown and doing all the gear and brand sets, that should be more than enough to get you at a minimum level 12, if not to 15 expertise. So it's a bit of a grind, but you can get that knocked out fairly quickly. If you were doing that in a week, easily be at level 15, if not higher, because you're also going to be grabbing weapons and named gear and things like that. Now, something to think about as well. You're doing all these conflict runs. I'm getting all these points in there. When you get the points from the conflict run, countdown runs, you want to come right over here to the countdown vendor. This little computer here. You can then go over here and buy items here. Now, depending on how much you're running it, maybe you might go ahead and buy yourself a couple of whatever weapons in here, whatever gear pieces are here, so you can just go ahead and proficient it. Or maybe you have something that you really want for one of your builds. Go ahead and buy it. You got it. However, what majority of the people will use this for is the exotic cache. 224 credits will get you an exotic cache. So you can do those runs, get enough points, go over here, buy an exotic. Now you've got an exotic. If it's an exotic you want to keep it. If it's not an exotic you don't want to keep, you can then dismantle it. I would say this now, do not use the exotics and deposit those into your expertise table. That will be a waste. Exotic components are very high commodity, and you need them to expertise your weapons. Now, something else that you guys probably saw along the way. When I went into my tinkering menu, there's other tabs here. As you're expertising things and you're throwing them in there, eventually stuff is going to start to become expertise. So when you go to donate it, it doesn't go in there. So you're going to have leftover junk. You then want to come over here to the library, right? You can go to library or to tinkering, but to library, and you're going to see little green arrows. Wherever you see a little green arrow, you want to go in there and you want to see what it's all about. What you're about to do is you're about to pull attributes from those items and you're going to put it into this library. Think of this like a phone book or a Rolodex. Think of this like your cell phone. You've got phone numbers saved in there, and once you get the phone number saved in there, it's not going anywhere. You don't have to remember it. You'll be able to utilize this later on to help optimize your gear to its fullest potential. So that is the last step. Some might say, do your library first. Oh yeah, do the library. Nah, forget that, because you're going to be getting gear for every single thing you do in this game. So grind it out, and then you're good to go. Throw your stuff into the expertise. Anything left over, throw over here. That's plain and simple. That's all you got to do. Now you've got to the points where, hey, I've got me some expertise. I'm going to get my watch level up, so on and so forth. What do I do now? When you feel ready and confident, bring yourself. I was about to say a bad word. Bring yourself over to the DZ and go have fun. Or go knock out that mission that you're looking to try to do. You've now gotten more than enough tools to be able to run through the game and getting yourself closer to the end game, like myself and so many others are already at. It's just that easy. What you guys have available to you now is way simpler and way easier than everyone else that first started the game had, and how we had to go about doing these things I'm telling you. It was a lot more work for us. It's a lot easier now. They've really simplified everything, and hopefully with this guide here on what to do, so on and so forth, helps you out. I don't believe I've missed anything as far as those steps as what you should be doing as soon as you've gotten to level 40. But if I have missed anything, let me know and we can do a supplement video. Hey, you know what? We missed this. Do this here. But there should be more than enough for you to not only get gear, level up your watch, going to countdown. Or I'm sorry, to conflict. And then, of course, farming for blueprints, which is going to be out here in the open world. And I'm telling you to go and attack Sleeping Giant. All right. With that being said, guys, look, this video has already been long enough, but hopefully you can use this and my words will be able to guide you through your adventures. It's amazing to see that even after so many years of this game already being out, this game being super discounted as it is, that you guys are still out here grinding it out, wanting to experience it and go and have some fun. Division is a game of its own. Division is an amazing game, and I hope that you guys truly enjoy it. So I'm leaving you with some double pumps right now. But guys, once again, if you enjoyed this, if this video helped you out, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and then of course, if nothing else, drop me some comments and let's boost that algorithm and help anyone else out. With that being said, I'm Kong. You know where to find me, out there on Twitch. We're doing our thing. Let's go crazy. Gang gang.